We are looking at a beautiful double portrait on view at the Art Institute of Chicago titled Dorothea and Francesca by Cecilia Beaux, painted in 1898. This composition is simple yet has a clear focus and is emotionally charged, which is a good way to think about the work of Cecilia Beaux. Beaux made a name for herself in the late 19th century. Born in 1855, Beaux was encouraged to pursue the arts throughout her childhood, and by age 18 was already working in commercial art, producing lithographs and prints, though she would admit she was not a huge fan of this work. She would go on to study independently in Europe for 19 months, which was a fairly uncommon occurrence for women at the time. Beaux focused primarily on portraiture as her career matured, painting many notable politicians and writers. She was appointed the first female teacher at the Philadelphia Academy of Fine Arts, and she won several awards, including the gold medal at the Exposition Universelle in Paris. Her talent was compared to artists such as John Singer Sargent, who has been considered one of the most prolific portraitists of all time. Despite the somewhat aggressive male-female societal separation at the time and the not always so subtle misogyny faced by women artists, Cecilia Beaux worked her way to critical praise and recognition. Now, the work Dorothea and Francesca invites us into an intimate moment between two girls who are participating in a dance lesson. There is a distinct age difference here, though we can see many similarities between the girls present in the composition. The transient nature of childhood is depicted through the use of mirrored movement between the girls and specific use of color. Dorothea and Francesca contemplates the transition from childhood to young adulthood, specifically for women in the American Victoria era, who were expected to abide by certain morals and live according to societal expectations. As the girls point their toes in unison, hands clasped, there is a sense of forward movement implied. As the girls execute a dance move, their parallel movements seem to indicate a sense of connection. It feels as if, rather than viewing two girls, we are almost seeing one girl at different stages of life. Despite these parallel movements, we see subtle differences between the girls. The older girl's hair is partially obscuring her face, while the younger girl's face can be seen fully. The younger girl smiles slightly, while the older girl remains in a neutral expression. The more conservative posture and expression of the older girl suggests maturity, as though she is helping to guide the younger girl. The use of movement within the piece, specifically the way they are stepping forward, mimics the girls moving forward in life figuratively. The younger girl moving toward one day being in the older girl's shoes, and the older girl moving into becoming a woman in society, with all the societal expectations that this would bring. Looking at color, we see a very similar palette used in the girls' outfits. The younger girl wears a rosy pink dress with a wide white sash around her waist, and we also see a glimpse of a red bow in her hair. In contrast, the older girl wears an all-white skirt and a faintly pink blouse with a red strip of fabric down the middle. The color white has been associated with the virtues of purity and sanctity, and the prominence of white in the older girl's skirt compared to the younger girl's dress shows this essentially flipped nature of the girl's outfits, visually emphasizing a transition from the innocence of childhood to young adulthood and the expectations tied to this. The American Victoria era, which spanned from approximately the 1840s to early 1900s, promoted distinct and separate male and female spheres, and women were expected to adhere to what was termed the cult of womanhood, which emphasized purity and domesticity as some core values. In this work, the older girl's skirt is floor length and does not reveal any skin, even as she lifts up the skirt, exposing her shoes. In contrast to the younger girl's more playful dress, the clothing of Victoria-era women emphasized modesty and maturity. We are, in some ways, seeing a mirror-like reflection with two opposite ends in this work. The younger girl is fully seen and has an expression of childlike playfulness, while the older girl, partially obscured by her wavy hair and modest outfit, visually expressed the movement from childhood to becoming a woman of society. Though Cecilia Beaux achieved success independently and pushed against societal boundaries, many women of this time did not share this experience. Beaux may have even seen glimpses of her own life within this portrait as well. Beaux and her older sister lost both parents when they were young, and this painting may have spoken partly to Beau's personal life. Even so, Dorothea and Francesca evoke a relatable quality, even for a viewer like us today, when thinking about the transition from childhood to adulthood. There is this sense of childhood that remains with us, even as growing up invokes new responsibilities or societal expectations. Whether for a woman in the Victorian era or a woman today, there are still cultural expectations and boundaries that exist.